and sun salutations. And thanks everybody.
Grand Risings, queens.
Oh wow. I mean, honestly, I feel like the Grand Rising thing is so appropriate for today's because I feel like you have to be at a level, right? You have to be at a level of elevation to really reach the luxury. So hello, welcome back everybody. What is this, episode 3?
Yeah.
Four?
No. 6, 7, 4, 5,
5, 6, 7, 8. No. I'm kidding. Welcome back, guys, to another episode of It's an Okay podcast with your lovely host, Corinne, Samelia, and Elizabeth. Today we're talking about Black girl luxury. That is where our editors that we'll have in the future will edit, and my voice will go luxury.
Because I really was about to say there needs to be a clap track behind when she says Elizabeth. Just
wow.
Just screaming and cheering and hollering.
Wow.
Yeah, but I'm so excited to talk about today's episode. So we'll do like a little recap of our day. How was everybody's day? We actually spent the day together, so I'm asking that more as a formality for you guys, but we were actually together today.
I know.
Just on our Lux thing.
Pink. Girls. Girls.
Together.
Forever.
I'm Linda. And
Heather. And best friends.
Now that we've done that whole TikTok for you guys, make sure you're following us on Instagram. I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Make sure you're following us on Instagram. But yeah, so we had like a nice celebration together today. It was really, I loved getting to like see my family because you guys are some of my favorite people in this world or whatever. So it was nice.
Yeah.
We went to the bouncy castle place. The jump house.
Castle place.
The jump house. The jump house.
The trampoline place.
Yeah. I didn't do most. Beth did a lot of jumping. I didn't do any jumping.
I sure did.
Yeah, it's not a part of my luxury lifestyle to jump. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Not a part of my self-care Sunday to jump.
I needed it because my kidneys really did feel like they were not alive. So we had to bounce those bitches back to hell.
Oh.
That must be a part of the Kanye workout plan.
It was part of something because I'm hurting still.
Oh my gosh. Drink some water.
I told her there's a 2 Chainz lyric where he's like, I've been drinking all night. I think my kidney hurting.
I literally, actually, my kidneys have been hurting for 2 days now.
I'm concerned.
I'm a little concerned. I gave her some water.
Oh gosh. Don't let that go for too long. That is not luxurious.
That's not luxury.
Oh my God, I'm so weak right now because I just like actually, it's so crazy because you know that your phone is listening to you. But I got on a Instagram just now. My friend, she is a Black girl luxury, kind of like fashion blogger, and it just popped up, and I see this mini Telfar bag. Oh my goodness. So anyway, how would you describe luxury? Like, I feel like a lot of people would describe luxury as like self-care, like designer, and I feel like we all have different like examples of what like luxury means to us. Yeah, luxury to me is definitely everything expensive. Okay. Everything expensive, everything just gaudy, but at the same time refined. And things, to me, luxury is just like things that other people don't have. Or actually, I take that back. Luxury to me is vintage because I buy a lot of expensive handbags that are vintage because not only one did they use actual real like brass, metal, and gold, but I don't like having things that other people have. Yeah. What about you, Sonia? What's luxury to you?
Luxury to me, lavish. It's opulent. It's grand.
Vocab.
It's the moment.
It's elegant. I think luxury is like when you're able to like blend functionality with design. I like, like plush fabrics and materials.
Material girl.
Like, material girls. It's when you are in fact a material girl. I think it's like there's a level of like extravagance that goes along with it. and typically it's like not as readily available to like the general population, either because of the price or because it's just not high supply. It's like, oh, we only made X amount of these handbags, you know, so then that's kind of luxurious because not everyone can get it, similar to what Beth said. Luxury for me, it's a nice vacation too, you know, with like supple sheets, just comfort. You know, I'm a Taurus, and we're all about that luxurious life.
Yeah, you guys are all about being comfortable.
Comfortable. Oh, yes. Sheets of Egyptian cotton, you know?
No.
Sheets of Egyptian cotton. So that's me. That's I think how I would define it.
What about you, Corinne? Oh, thanks for asking.
Oh, so what about you, Corinne?
It's fine. I ask myself. I don't wait around. For me,
I don't send candygrams. I get them.
So you better send me one. No, but for me, like, I think luxury is less it's more of an aesthetic for me. So I really like soft, simple, clean stuff. I do really like, because I'm not a minimalist. I really am a maximalist. And I just lean into that because it's who I am. But I think also at the same time, like, the stuff that I do have, like, it all serves a purpose, kind of how you were saying, like, functionality meets like what did you say? Functionality meets
design.
So yeah, it's like, it's taking like a really hot shower and then doing like a face routine, a skin routine, a teeth routine, a hair routine, like, and just being able to afford like to do all of those things. Like, you don't really realize how much of a luxury it is to like just simply wash your hair until you get older and you start like paying your own bills. And it's also like, luxury for me is like just doing the things in life that I really, really enjoy, because it is really hard to do those things, especially like, you know, with inflation and like where we're at and the economy and all of that, and like the job market and blase and etc. So for me, luxury is like you were saying before, like taking trips. I love traveling. I love experiencing. And like, even like I was telling Beth today, like one of my, and I think I told you this, you know, before as well, Somalia, like for me, like going on a trip and then going to fast food restaurants that you can't go to in any other like state. Like, you go to Texas, you get Whataburger. You go to California, you get In-N-Out. You go to, like, we saw, what was it called, like Roy something or other.
Roy Ross's, and it was a fish joint.
Yeah, I was like, that's the kind of stuff that I like to do, like going to restaurants, and like, I have never heard of that place in my life, but like just the spontaneity of like being able to afford to go get in the drive-thru and like try something new, that to me is a luxury. Like, just the comfortability that like my bills are paid and my like everything is good, and like I have enough money if like I need to pay something, and having a little bit extra for me to like go on a trip, or, you know, like get some nice bed sheets or something like that. Like, just having a little bit extra to me is luxury.
Love that.
Yeah.
Squirrel. But yeah, that you were saying earlier about the Telfar bag.
You guys, so we're sitting at the bounce house, and you know, my sister somebody just got Corinne a Telfar bag. If you don't know who Telfar is, it's another Black-owned luxury designer. You guys should make sure you check out their pages because he does exclusive drops and they're really nice. But we're sitting at the place, we're all sitting waiting for the time to go, you know, for us, the queue to go jump. And this little like 4-year-old child walks in.
Legitimately 4 years old.
Like, child.
I would say she's like 6.
Okay, let's make 2 years older. Okay. Walks in, Telfar bag. And the weight, I mean, and it was hers. It wasn't like she was holding her mom. This was her Telfar bag, and you could tell it was empty.
No shade. It probably had like a little Bonnie Bell lip smacker.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it probably had a little lip gloss in it.
But she walks in, I turn the corner and I'm like, this girl has a Telfar bag. Because I'm like, I don't even have a Telfar bag. You know, what the hell? And instantly, it was like little bit miniature baby Mean Girls.
They were sizing me up.
Sizing Corinne up with her Telfar.
They like looked at me with
like,
my Telfar and they were like, this raggedy girl has a Telfar. This old woman has a Telfar. This grandmother.
Why are you so old with such a small bag?
Except for mine wasn't empty, okay? Mine had stuff in it, okay? That grown people carry. Her. Y'all not about to shame me for my baby Telfar. You know what? I was gonna be like, never mind.
No, but it was funny. It's funny because it's like,
No, it was
wow,
hilarious.
like, why does she have a bag? But then it goes back to like creating luxury, like, because like one thing that I want to make sure I
like generational wealth.
Yeah, in generational wealth. I want to instill in my kids that you don't always have to do something good to have something nice. So like, you know, a lot of the times, like, you know, in the old days, like when we were kids, people would always use, oh, you did good, so, you know, you got good grades, so I'm gonna reward you with something. And it's like sometimes it's just like nice to get them a just because.
Yeah.
So it was just cool to see like, wow, we've come so far.
Yeah. I thought it was cool. I thought it was so cute that she had a Telfar. I was like, it was funny because she's a baby with a Telfar and the bag was bigger. Even if it was the mini bag, it was bigger than her. Like it was so fun. And it was really funny that like literally 4 7-year-olds were sizing me up. Like it was like really comical, but at the same time, it was like, honestly, I think it's kind of cool that like this young like little girl has a Telfar because Telfar is a sign of Black luxury. And like kind of something you guys were saying, how you were like, exclusivity for me is luxury. Like one of the things that like the guy from Telfar really like makes his motto is that like anyone can get a Telfar. Like he's not going to change the price of Telfar. Like just because a bunch of people want Telfar does not mean he's going to change the price of it. So you can kind of like, you can work towards getting a Telfar. And I feel like so many people have Telfars. You can't be like, so many people have Gucci bags. So many people have like Fendi bags, because that's not true. But like a lot of people have Telfar bags.
Yeah.
And I love that even though it is a thing that is achievable by most, it's still considered a luxury to have.
Yeah.
So I think that's like, I think it's a sign of like, because you know when you see another person with a Telfar, you're like, oh, you got the Telfies? You know what I mean? Like it's just, it's like, it's still seen as a like a high luxurious thing, and it's not only in the Black community. Like there's so people outside the Black community who are like foaming at the mouth for a Telfar. So
yeah,
I think it's awesome that this designer was able to create hype by being inclusive. Like I actually think that's kind of cool, and so inclusive that a 7-year-old had a Telfar.
Like a legitimate baby,
like a literal baby.
I mean, I think it's good. I don't know that I like just I'm being paged by my luxurious child right now.
Yeah, your son really is little baby luxury, which I feel like goes into, not to cut you
One
off.
second. No, it's fine. Darling, I'm recording the podcast. Just come down and take a bath. Please stop calling me on the walkie-talkie. I'm recording. Come in.
Why?
I'm recording. It's bath time. Go take a bath. Thank you.
I go to the doctor.
It depends. You have to call your dad. Do you know what Self-Care Sunday is, Daniel?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, come here. Tell me what Self-Care Sunday is.
Take care of yourself.
What do you do on Self-Care Sunday?
Get massages and stuff.
Okay. All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, the 7-year-old goes to get massages and manicures and pedicures.
And eat
Black boy
sushi
luxury.
on the weekends.
And
yeah, that's
sushi.
what I was talking about earlier, is like when I was saying, like, not to cut you off, but just like Daniel, it does live a very luxurious life. And it's, to me, it's like a lot about like the issue that people have with generational wealth, because it's so funny how people will be like, I want to instill, you know, I want my kids to have generational wealth. I want them to have things I didn't have. I don't want them to have to struggle. And then the way they look at like kids today who have generational wealth is like, because like no one has like billionaire type generational wealth. Like that's not what people are instilling, but like to have a home, you know, to have a car you can pass down, like those kind of things don't make you a nepotism baby. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
That is like not what we mean by luxury.
Yeah, it actually made me think of two things. So one was, I think what I was going to say earlier was, while I, think it's dope, like, if you trust um, your 7-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old to carry around a purse that expensive, then, more power to you. But I think for me, it's not necessarily that she has it. I just don't know that I would bring it to like, like
a bounce house.
Yeah, a bounce house. And two, I think one thing that we can talk about later is the fact that generational wealth extends to also like therapy, right? Not just
Yeah.
buying things, but like it's also about like like caring for yourself mentally and taking care of your mental health. That's just something that popped in my head.
Yeah, well, yeah, I feel like I definitely agree. The thing, how I was saying like earlier, I feel like it's the things that you need, like being able to afford the things you need,
Yeah.
and then having some extra. And I do think like therapy is a necessity, and like, going to the doctor is a necessity. Like those are definitely things of necessity.
Yeah.
And luxury doesn't just have to be an aesthetic; it can also be of the mind. Like, do you want to elaborate on that more?
Yeah, I mean, I just think that like oftentimes we think about something being luxurious, and it's like, okay, well, like it's also, I don't know, maybe luxury is not the right word for it, but I think it's also like the wealth of not having like to work through intergenerational trauma. Priceless. You know what I mean?
Do you feel, I know, right? Do you feel like that's ever going to be a thing? Even if I don't even think the most well-off families don't have any generational trauma they have to work through.
I don't know. Beth, what do you think? I have some thoughts, but I want to hear what you think.
In terms of like, repeat the question to me. Sorry, because like I'm like, that wasn't a question.
Well, Corey was saying like, in terms of like, do you think that there's ever going to be a time where families, like where children don't have to work through some sort of generational issue?
So actually, yes,
I think eventually, yeah. No. I think eventually, yes. But you want to know what that takes? Because me and Corey talked about this a little bit in the car, somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a level that everybody is willing to go through.
You broke up
a little bit of what? You broke up a bit.
I'm sorry. It takes a level of honesty that not everybody is willing to go through. So like what I mean by that is we are all willing to sit and stare at the ugly truth about ourselves, right?
Yeah.
Meaning we are all collectively and actively working on ourselves for the betterment of our future children.
Yeah.
Not everybody in everyone's family is willing to do that, It's like that, okay, just, we don't talk about Bruno. We're just going to leave him in the corner and let him figure out what he wants to do. And we're just going to act like he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
So like if everybody was willing to look at their ugly selves, then yeah, I think that we could all move past and towards a place where your children are not having to heal from your trauma. Because me and Corey talked about the fact that I'm really proud of Mom. Because I'm like, wow, she never, ever gave us an ounce of her trauma. Like, not in the sense of like, we could have been way more messed up.
Yeah.
We could have been way more messed up.
Yeah.
We're not.
And I don't actually even think we're messed up.
And I don't think we're messed up.
I think we have like as someone who's gone to therapy, I think we have, the right amount of trauma for the world. It's the evil world we living in. I think we have the right amount of trauma for the world we live in. Honestly. And I don't even think half the stuff that happened to me, like, was really inflicted by family. I think it was inflicted by
other people. Like, the outside world definitely contributed to my trauma. Like, I don't have trauma really from, I have some, but I don't really have a lot of trauma from our family. I have trauma from other people. Like, I was like, what? They're mean? Mm-hmm. Wait, there's not actual love out here?
You mean to tell me there are people who won't wake up at 7 a.m. to help you pick out an outfit and then for you to choose the opposite one and just be okay with it?
I feel like for me, it's more about like, I think no one gets through what childhood unscathed, right? Like, right. Regardless of how great your parents are, mm-hmm. like there are things that you have to deal with, which are just regular aspects of growing up, right? So like while like I don't think I have a ton of like generational things, I think that there are some people, like I was watching this video about this woman who was talking to the therapist, and she was saying, some people who are like your attachment style. Oh, actually, I think I was watching a video about it, but I think you also posted something about it, Beth. Your attachment style is it's born from feeling like your caregivers were not able to meet your needs. It didn't say that your caregivers didn't care for you.
That was me, Shawty, but that's okay.
Okay, yes. Thank you, Corinne.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna feel bad. Keep going though.
But like your caregivers, they cared for you in the way that they knew how. And oftentimes, even if they were loving, if they cared for or loved you in a way that was not the way you needed to be loved, you could have felt as if you were not cared for, like in your child mind, you may have perceived not being cared for, but that might not actually be the reality.
Yeah.
So I think, that level of like healing is just kind of regular that you would expect in any family, but the generational issues are something a little bit different.
So you don't feel like generational trauma is ever something that anyone can get past?
I think you can, but I think that there's always going to be a level of like healing that you have just because like no one knows, there's no guidebook to being a parent.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
I really hope I don't mess my child up. That's just I just feel like I was not joking when I say I will literally tell my husband, all right, going out with the girls, be back later.
Nobody thought you were, girly.
Oh,
I'm just saying. So somebody that I really love in like the Black girl luxury space, because I feel like Black girl luxury, luxury itself is, like it's a controversial topic, which is crazy to me. But like Black girl luxury itself, I feel like is so like controversial, but I think it's so important. Like people like Jackie, and she has Jackie Aina, for people who don't know who I'm talking about. She started off as a makeup YouTuber, and now she owns a candle brand. And so is just like really she's a multimillionaire, and she's just like built up her wealth, and she like posts videos all the time about how it's so important for her growing up, how she never saw Black women just like simply like getting to be soft. And for me, that's why like Black girl luxury is so important, because in a world that's constantly trying to make me out to be like, all the stereotypes of like aggressive and, standoffish and all these things that I'm really not. Like, I'm simply a lover girl, and that's my claim trademark. Like, I just am simply a lover girl, and I really enjoy being that. Like, I think our mom is a lot of a lover girl, and so like I think that kind of rubbed off on us. Like, our grandma is our grandma's a tough cookie, but she's a lover girl. Like, I just feel like we come from a generation of like just lovers, and I feel like sometimes Black girls are not given the safe space to be that. And so for me, that's why it's so important to, have the Black girl luxury of like, and it looks simple as me just taking a picture of my fruit plate, right? But what that really means for me is like I get to just exist softly the way that I was really put on this earth to exist as, just to be like laying in the sun and sunbathing like the muse that I am.
I was Josh Safdie's muse when he wrote Uncut Gems.
Stuff like that. But yeah, I just feel like that is what Black girl luxury. It's a little bit more like political, because I'm putting down this armor and this suffering that I've been told for years that I had to have, and that I never wanted for myself. Like, I never claimed that for myself. And I watch so many other people, like races of people, get to just be soft and gentle. And, and sometimes it's not all good, right? Because like sometimes people stereotype, certain races and, they're more docile and stuff like that. Yeah. So I'm not claiming that I want that struggle, but I do want to be able to exist in who I am without having to play into someone's stereotype. And that for me is being a luxury girl.
A luxury girl.
Yeah, I want my fruit plate, like I just want to be able to sunbask and be this soft lover girl that I am. Yeah. And that's why Black girl luxury is so important for me. And that's why I love Jackie and everything that she stands for, because she does that on a much more public scale. Right. And has to deal with people just like coming at her. But she's like, it's so important for me to show young Black girls like
just someone being loved on and like being extra. And I was called extra. So one of my favorite songs as a kid, like when I was young, like in college, was Extra by 2 Chainz, because people would always call me extra. And I'm like, I don't think that I'm extra. Like, I just think that this is the way that I was raised, like very similar to the way Samilia raises her son. Like our mom wanted to make sure that we didn't struggle. And so she instilled in us a lot of spiritual wellness. And like one of the things I remember from growing up is she would always talk about like poor is not money, poor is a mindset, and poor is spirit. Like you're rich in spirit, you're rich in family, you're rich in so many other things. It's not just about money, so that I'm not instilling my self-confidence in how much money that I have, but in what kind of person I am. Am I a good person? Am I a nice person? Am I, X, Y, and Z? So I thought that was important to say. And I really recommend everyone, to watch Jackie. And yeah.
I think it's great too, and not to cut you off, I just think it's great too that in this day and age, how our phones are so readily available that we can just like get online and like click right. I think it's great that there's some days that I just won't be feeling good, like damn, like I really haven't like given myself a bubble bath or done my nails. That's why I think like learning this stuff for myself is to me kind of, because it's like I love going to the spa. Don't get me like, but like my coins are going towards more expensive, lavish things, and I don't want to spend it on getting my nails done, even though I think it's luxury. Like me doing my own nails is luxury to me.
Yeah.
Because I treat it like I'm going to the spa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. I think I'm just in a season of my life where I'm like, I'm just going to prioritize like the things that I like. I think I want a massage to be a part of my, my weekly routine.
Yeah.
And like kind of stumbled onto a little bit of an addiction. I probably need to put myself on a budget a little bit. It's giving though, like my time is a luxury. And so like,
amen.
If I go on like vacation, I come back, I'm like, I'm taking the day off. After I get back, I'm taking off because I need the time to like decompress. That's luxury. You know what I mean? Like not feeling like you have to like be like freaking running around from point A to point B all the time, instead just being like, I'm at point A and I'm just going to chill for a little bit,
Grind culture.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Lying to you.
It is. Because after all that grinding, it's never enough.
It's never enough. I literally just got to a place where I was like, oh my God, I feel somewhat like I'm not depressed, but I was like, am I not doing enough? Do I need to go harder? And I was like, stop it. We're going to lay in bed all day. That's what I do. Like I actually just allowed myself to exist.
Oof. Yeah. The guilt that I used to feel like if I wasn't doing something or like working towards something, like the idea that I could even just rest was so wild to me. I thought I always had to be, even when I was in grad school, I would go to friends' houses and I would bring my textbooks with me because I'm like, well, if there's a spare moment, like I'm gonna study. I never opened these books, but I always felt like I needed to bring them with me because I didn't feel like I deserved to just enjoy life. And now I just feel like I'm here to enjoy life. Like that's just what I'm going to do. If it's up to me, I'm here to enjoy life.
Right. Because like sometimes I have existential crisis, most times. Sometimes I'll be in the shower and I'll just start laughing like we're really on this floating rock. Like I'm literally in the bathroom taking a shower on this floating rock. Like dope. That's hilarious. That's actually so funny. And that's why I feel like you should do the things that bring you closer to what like being spiritual fulfillment. Yeah. And I was explaining to Beth earlier today, it has stopped getting closer because to me luxury, like you were saying earlier, like luxury is going to therapy and like spiritual wellness, and like how mom taught me as a kid that like you're not rich, you're not poor in money, you're poor in spirit, like all of those things have brought me closer to a spiritual wellness where I can, if you feel your best, you can help elevate those around you. You can't be your best self to those around you if you're not being your best self to you. It really does start with your inner. Yeah. And so now I just won't, like, luxury to me is not arguing with people. It's not like carrying on and hooting and hollering, because at the end of this argument, where do we go? You know, where are we going from there? You know?
Right.
It's not bringing us closer to either one of our goals. So why would I sit here arguing about nonsense? Now, that's not to say that someone can't, you know, hey, you hurt my feelings. That's not to say that, you know, because a lot of spiritual wellness is being able to acknowledge that you might have hurt someone that you love, and, you know, coming full circle in that moment to make your bond stronger. That's not what I'm talking about, because that has an end goal, and that's to make the bond stronger between you and the person that you're on this journey of life with, because you need community is important when you're, you know, moving through life. Luxury is not just being by yourself. Luxury is also, you can also do luxurious things with your community. So yeah, arguing, hooting and hollering, it's just not a part of, it's not in my luxury path, because it's not bringing me closer to those things in life that I want, like traveling and experiencing and living and vibing. Luxury to me is not arguing. What a bitch.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm a fan of Black girl luxury, especially because the images that Black women saw before this was of struggle, right? Mm-hmm. Like, they just always trying to sell us on some struggle love, on some like struggle in your career. You gotta, you know, you have to struggle against stereotypes that you're angry, or all of these things that, like, most of us are not. And if I'm no more angry than anyone else is angry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, angry at the world because there's some messed up stuff happening.
We should definitely be angry.
Right. You should be angry. Right. Like, but it was for so long, like you were saying earlier, Corinne, like for so long, the image of Black women in popular culture was one of someone struggling, and in some form, right? Or like the single welfare moms, the single moms, you know, like there's so many like
Jezebel,
Jezebel, tell about it. You can
Sapphire.
use your play. Go ahead, girl.
Yeah, girl. Just, you know, all the main stereotypes in my play. Just
and were they not centered on or predicated on struggle in some form?
Oh yeah, like F is for fillet your feelings. Don't cross me. I'm not the one. Like, I'm mean. I'm evil. But the funny thing is, like, the things that is rooted in this struggle is the perpetuation that us speaking out against the mistreatment is us speaking up when we shouldn't.
Mm-hmm. Say more about that.
So, like, we aren't meant to have luxury. Like I was explaining to Corinne, I was like, I cannot tell you how many times it is a certain segment of society that will try to keep me beneath them, because for some, even, and it dates back to even before, you know, because maybe some men may have found, you know, like, think about our hair, how that was made us, you know, they regulated our hair to make us feel inferior or to feel less than. This is our hair. It grows out of you can't even like prevent that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Prevent hair that grows out of my head. But you're going to put things in place to make me feel as if my existence, my very existence, down to my hair follicles, down to dead cells, disrupts your peace.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, the biggest things that I've seen now, like now that the Black girl luxury movement has like become like really like caught on, it's become like viral, and people are really like subscribing to it. Black women are really like subscribing to it. I think what comes from that is like some people who are like you said, Beth, like think that we don't deserve luxury, right? Yep. It's like, well, if I don't have luxury, why do you have luxury?
Right. Because they benefited from our struggle.
Well, yeah, because that's how capitalism works.
Yeah.
Like,
so they don't benefit from our struggle anymore. So if we are liking ourselves, and they can't sell us stuff, they're gonna definitely rebel against it.
Right, but that's exactly the other. I see some people who are like, you don't deserve this, and then other people who are against it, who are like, we're afraid that this is going to make Black women get too caught up in capitalistic thinking that having more things or having more expensive things will make your life better, when really it's about spiritual. It's more spiritual that's really going to be the true wealth.
¿Por qué no los dos? Why can't it be both?
I mean, it's both for me.
It sure is.
Namaste, you know.
Namaste, Emmett. Yeah.
Be unto you. What do you guys say? To give thanks.
And with your spirit.
I'm not Catholic. I didn't
go. It's fine. No, it's fine. You're fine. I haven't gone to Catholic church in a while, so I'm AME as far as we know.
Yeah. What do you guys think about the people who are anti-Black girl luxury?
I think it's rooted in racism. I think it's rooted because, like, why would you not want to see the advancement of somebody that was oppressed? Oh my God, I feel like Z-Way. Baited.
Yeah, I feel like the same way, but I also feel like I feel like this is crazy to say, right? And what I'm about to say is there's layers to it. I feel like education is a luxury, because if people knew, like, I was so dead set and gung-ho about not going to college, right? I knew I wanted to do music from a very, very young age. I've kind of always been sure about what I wanted to do. And so I was like, well, I graduated high school. I don't really aspire to do anything. If I can't go to my performing arts college, then let me just do my music straight out of high school, you know? Yeah. But my mom knew what the world was like for someone like me. And my mom's also an academic. And so for her, it was really important for me to go to school. And once I started going to school, I realized how, like, it's crazy because I'm not privileged, but I realized how privileged and, like, almost bratty I sounded by being like, I don't want to go to college, because I would have missed out on so many core learning experiences that I really, really needed, that elevated what I know now, like being out in the world with people now. Just like recently with, the Black Lives Matter movement, it was so crazy to me that there are so many people who are just learning about it. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? But that's because they didn't get the education that I got to be able to understand those things and move through those things without having to just learn about them. Yeah. So to me, education was a luxury, because I just learned how to be I learned history, which helped me, see people who look like me in history, which helped me love myself a lot more. And I really do think, like, representation matters. And that's why I love accounts like Jackie's, Lavishly Jackie, and like Z-Way as well. Like, just so many people out there who are living the lifestyle and leading by example of, like, not having Black women not having to struggle. Yeah. Because I have that education and I see that, and obviously it's more accessible now with our phones, but, like, I feel so lucky to have learned that people are used to what they're fighting is a familiarity that we were all taught. Like, we are all taught white supremacy. So there are things that it affects everyone. Like, it doesn't just affect Black women. It really affects every single person, because nobody is without. You could be white, but you could also be handicapped. You know what I mean? Like, so everybody is affected by these capitalistic thinkings. But if you have the education to know that everybody is affected by that, you're able to digest the fact that, like, this Black woman simply not wanting to suffer is actually not hurting me. Right. It's actually benefiting me that this woman doesn't want to suffer, because now that this Black woman doesn't want to suffer, I know that I can do that as well. And so I don't want to suffer. So I want better for myself. Yeah. And then it's a domino effect. Then if you do have kids, your kids won't want to suffer. And then they'll pass not suffering on to their kids. And we create better generations. We leave the world better than what it was before. But, like, we were talking about earlier, capitalism doesn't want us to do that. So it keeps people ignorant. It makes things like education harder to get to and achieve. And it makes it really expensive. And you'll have debt when you leave. Right. Like, and that's why for me, luxury is, like, being able to afford, living life, like the things that are a right that we're all have a right to, but are seen as like these luxuries that for me is like not really, I don't look at it as a luxury, even though it is. I'm like, I feel like I'm entitled to these things. I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like I'm entitled to have healthcare. I'm entitled to have insurance. I'm entitled to have these things simply because I exist here in this world.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean I think I'm better than people. That means I think you deserve those things as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's the crazy thing about capitalism, because somebody has to be at the bottom. And so I think a lot of people have, like, they
don't want it to be them.
They know, but it's funny because black what we have done is basically we've been at the bottom. We have not moved from the bottom. I want you to know we have not moved from the bottom. What we did was say, oh, y'all not gonna make it any better? Okay, well, we're just gonna make the bottom the club.
It's the place to be, right?
Yeah.
Bottom is the place to be.
It's lit.
And so it's like where you thought your parties were popping, it's like, no, our cookouts, we were slapping. You know what I mean? So you've turned around and now you're like, oh shit, like I wanna go there. And it's like, no, you don't want to come here. This is the bottom.
Yeah.
Right.
To almost down to like, you know, it's just like funny, like when people almost appropriate Black girl luxury and refine it in a way where they try to spin off it, where it's almost like you're taking almost things from the culture and trying to put spin on it. So like one, for instance, you know, people have been sneakerheads, but a lot of like sneakers have always been like a part
staple in the Black community.
Staple in the Black community. So when I see, you know, a lot of this, what do they call it now? I said I wanted to be one.
I still call hype beast. Hype bae.
They call it hype beast and hype bae.
What? Hype beast?
Hype beast and hype baes. And I'm like, what? You mean Ray Ray and Pookie down the block?
Okay,
like them.
Here's the funny thing is they try to paint that as, oh, that's ghetto. That's until it's ghetto until seen on the runway.
Right. Like boxer braids.
Black girl luxury.
Like the Bo Derek braids.
Oh my gosh.
Not the Bo Derek braids.
Not Bo Derek. Don't even get me started.
Because I'm getting started. I stay ready. No, I'm kidding. But yeah. No, all of that. All of what you just said and more. Like,
so what do you... Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to reiterate. Like, they really like... It turns into cultural appropriation, but go ahead. What were you saying?
I was just going to say, like, what do you guys specifically do to like in pursuit of Black girl luxury, self-care? Like, what do you do? Other than, I know, Corey, you don't argue with people.
I think what I do to preserve my luxury is just, you know, like I say, like I keep up on, to me, I want to look good. I want to feel good. So like, I make sure I do things solely for me and my happiness and my mental health. And I think that in itself is a luxury because, you know, things that are nicely, because I'm, you know, it's ugly sometimes over here, but I'm making sure that I'm like a pretty put together package before I could walk out that door. To me, I am exuding luxury because I don't need anybody else to feel my nasty.
But you also don't want to walk around feeling nasty.
Right.
Like, that just,
But like, I feel like your nasty is something that you're just supposed to handle on your own. So why would I walk out of the house and give you anything less than luxury? When you see me, I'm always overdressed. And my friends, it's so funny because like, you know, I'm always like, my friends like, oh, it's just like a simple kickback. Okay, well, I'm dressed up.
Not gonna catch me slipping.
No, and it's not a thing of like, that to me is what makes me feel better. I don't like being just dressed down. I don't like being underdressed for something. I'm always the one that's overdressed no matter what it is.
You mean like wearing liquid tights to the bounce house?
Exactly. I was amused today for all of the parents that were staring at my butt.
I got jams.
For me, luxury is traveling.
Okay.
Like I want to, like, it's been a, not me stuttering, it's been a I'm obsessed with you in a way I can't believe.
After is.
It's the remix. But yeah, I released a song with Willow. No, I'm kidding. Willow cleared the sample. Anyway, so I really love to travel, and for me, like, I love going to an Airbnb, and I love taking a nice hot, like, because my shower pressure in my bathroom is like, not, it's good. I have a shower and I'm really thankful for that, but I love a nice scalding I'm a crab. I love a smoldering shower. So I love like taking a super like 30-minute long hot shower and then getting out and like getting my cocoa oil and like shea butter oil and just like rubbing it on my arms, and like my arms smell good, and then like, you know, like I said before, doing my teeth routine, and my mouth smells good, and then doing my face routine, my face feels nice and hydrated, and then, you know, washing my hair. Like I love that feeling in a different, like, while I'm traveling.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm out somewhere, living lavish in a different place, doing my like everyday care, and just taking care of myself while I'm having fun in a different place.
Yeah.
I love that. Like that, if I could do that for the rest of my life, I would really be good.
For me, let's see.
Oh, and eating.
Huh?
Eating. I said, oh, and eating. Can't forget eating.
Where do I start? I love a good massage. I love a good meal. I like the other day, like 2 weeks ago, I meditated for like an hour.
Mm.
And then I did like a facial steamer because Beth got me a facial steamer for Christmas.
She did.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is like just the time to just be like, I'm just going to lay here and just meditate to the sounds of ocean waves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Luxurious. What else? I love traveling as well. I love new experiences. I like resting. I'm in the bed right now. I love a good nap. Yeah, I like taking things like Beth always talks about how like I'm like so chill but get a lot of things done, and I do. Like
you do.
I will just randomly be like, I wrote a book I wrote a book yesterday. You're like,
I made a whole planner on sale now.
It's like, how did you do all that and you rest as much as you do? And I'm like, I think I'm able to do that because I rest as much as I do.
1000%.
Yeah. I really want to find an esthetician so I can like, you know, really bring out the best in my skin, and my skin's pretty good,
Mm-hmm.
but like I want to be able to like, I want it to glow.
The glow, yeah.
Yeah. And fragrances, right?
Ooh,
like just finding some nice fragrances that like, yeah, candles. Those are more superficial things. Therapy. Ooh, child, that's a luxury. That is a luxury that I cannot do without. So yeah, I think it's just a bit of everything. It's some of it is like more superficial, and other of it is like more spiritual, but it's all needed for me.
Yeah, I agree. 1000%. Like, living lavish. And we want to hear what your idea of living lavish is. So make sure you guys weigh in on our post this week. We're going to be posting lots of different things this week. So make sure you guys are tuned into that. And yeah, make sure you guys tell us what living lavish. You'll see the post. So make sure you guys definitely answer that, because we want some ideas, because you can never live too lavish. You know what I mean? So give us more ideas on how to live lavish and how you live lavish, so we can have those ideas.
Lavish, because live lavish.
Because my vibe
lavish
right now is living lavish, like I'm playing for the Mavericks.
Uncut Jams remix.
So yeah, thanks guys for joining our episode on Black Girl Luxury. I love this topic. I could really go on forever. It's a good topic. And I feel like we really get to share like things that are important to us.
Yeah.
But also the, you know, it's like weird to say, but like the political stance behind like why it's important for Black women to get the chance to have a safe space, like the safe space to just share and unload and not be seen as angry, aggressive, or anything other than a human being is a right that everyone deserves to have. And so I love this open space and this open forum that we're having to just like be softies, be Lux girls.
Samesies.
Well, thanks guys.
Thanks guys.
Material girl.
Material girl. So we'll see you guys on Instagram. We'll see you guys next week. We'll see you in your dreams. And bye.
Bye.
Unite.